Hello, my name is Mohammed Ali,
And I am Theo Ernie.
we are both students at University of South Wales at the Newport campus, and we are studying applied cybersecurity. This presentation is on the OSI model, and we will be explaining how the OSI model works. The OSI model stands for the Open Systems Interconnection Model, and it describes 7 layers that computer systems use to communicate over a network. It was the first standard model for network communications, adopted by all major computer and telecommunication companies in the early 1980s. The modern internet is not based on the OSI model, but on the simpler TCP/IP model. However, the OSI 7-layer model is still widely used as it helps to visualize and communicate how networks operate, and helps isolate and troubleshoot networking problems. OSI was introduced in 1983 by representatives of the major computer and telecom companies, and was adopted by ISO as an international governance standard in 1984. We will be describing the OSI layers from the application layer all the way through to the physical layer that directly serves the end user.
The application layer is used by end user software such as web browsers and email clients. It provides protocols that allow software to send and receive information and present meaningful data to users. A few examples of application layer protocols are the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, File Transfer Protocol, Post Office Protocol, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, and Domain Name System.
The presentation layer prepares data for the application layer. It defines how two devices should encode, encrypt, and compress data so it is received correctly on the other end. The presentation layer takes any data transmitted by the application layer and prepares it for transmission over the session layer.
The session layer creates communication channels called sessions between devices. It is responsible for opening sessions, ensuring they remain open and functional while data is being transferred, and closing them when communication ends. The session layer can also set checkpoints during a data transfer. If the session is interrupted, devices can resume data transfer from the last checkpoint.
The transport layer takes data transferred in the session layer and breaks it into segments on the transmitting end. It is responsible for reassembling the segments on the receiving end, turning it back into data that can be used by the session layer. The transport layer carries out flow control, sending data at a rate that matches the connection speed of the receiving device, and error control, checking if the data was received incorrectly, and if not, requesting it again.
The network layer has two main functions. One is breaking up segments into network packets and reassembling the packets on the receiving end, and the other is routing packets by discovering the best path across a physical network. The network layer uses network addresses, typically Internet Protocol addresses, to route packets to a destination node.
The data link layer establishes and terminates a connection between two physically connected nodes on a network. It breaks up packets into frames and sends them from source to destination. This layer is composed of two parts: the logical link control, which identifies network protocols, performs error checking, and synchronizes frames, and media access control, which uses MAC addresses to connect devices and define permissions to transmit and receive data.
The physical layer is responsible for the physical cable or wireless connection between network nodes. It defines the connector, the electrical cable or wireless technology connecting the devices, and is responsible for transmission of the raw data, which is simply a series of zeros and ones while taking care of bitrate control. Overall, there are a wide range of advantages for the OSI model.
Some of these advantages include determining the required hardware and software to build a network of users. It also helps to understand and communicate the process followed by components communicating across a network, performing troubleshooting by identifying which network layer is causing an issue, and focusing efforts around this layer. It is incredibly vital to today's society.
Thank you for your time.
Diolch am eich amser.